everyone, this is CGNovo982 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we're here to discuss a delicious Rangers rumour, the Rangers rumour of the week. You can tell by the deliciously clickbaity title, but before we actually break down this entire scenario, just a friendly reminder in case you are new around here and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so and close the gap towards 26k. But without any further ado, let's just dive into it, shall we? Because I genuinely can't wait for this. 3, 2, 1. An Aberdeen captain with less than 6 months to go on their contract, offers sent from Aberdeen which the man hasn't signed, rumblings, rumours, tricklets of news linking said Aberdeen captain to a Rangers signing. This seems familiar. I don't know where. Oh yeah, that's right, and I'm actually wearing a shirt of a former Aberdeen captain that signed a pre-contract with Rangers. What is the chances? Sometimes life just levels up, lads. Sometimes it just does. And what's even scarier is I've already made this video 2 years ago regarding pretty much the exact same subject which I am discussing today. It was just for Ryan Jack about 2 years ago, the possibility of him signing a pre-contract with the Glasgow Rangers. And it's very, very curious if you go back and watch that video, see in the comment section. Some of them were mostly positive, to be fair, but there is a couple of comments saying, oh, he's not better than what we already have, he would just be a squad player. I mean, the similarities between these two videos 2 years apart is absolutely frightening. But it is a very interesting rumour because just like last time with Ryan Jack, there was no strong evidence because they kept it very, very hush regarding the subject, quite clearly because of the fan backlash that would be on the player. When Ryan Jack signed with us, there was decapitated pictures of Ryan Jack on Aberdeen banners. That is the level that they will go to. So if Graeme Shinnie has signed on the dotted line with Rangers, it's no wonder they're keeping it quiet. But whether you believe the rumour or not, what we're actually going to do in today's video is actually break down the player himself and look at the stats and statistics to see whether it's true or not, if we actually should sign the man himself. So come along, watch today's video, get involved and react to Graeme Shinnie's player profile. Let's dive into it then, shall we? This season, Graeme Shinnie has played 37 games. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists. However, 3 of those appearances were actually at left back, where he has a cheeky goal and assist in 3 games at left back, which is actually pretty damn decent and one of the highest percentages in the actual league. However, in the defensive mid spot, which he sort of made his own this season, he has played 32 games. He sits at 3 goals and 3 assists, which makes him the best CDM in the SPFL, creative and attacking wise. Now obviously I'm going to compare his stats with some of the Rangers players. I'm in no way saying that he is better than any of these Rangers players. I'm just purely using the stats as a comparison to actually look at what we might actually be getting if Graeme Shinnie does sign on the dotted line. Now I know stats aren't everything as well. Some people do not like the stats, and I know that in the comment section, saying there's a lot more that goes into a game than stats. I completely understand that. I mean, Ross McCrory will be making the challenge, who then passes it to Arfield, who then gets the assist for a Morelos goal. Arfield will get the assist and Ross McCrory gets nothing, so I completely understand that, but I just thought it'd be a fun little comparison to work our way through the actual Rangers squad. So let's start off with Ross McCrory. Now Ross McCrory sits at 25 games, 0 goals and 0 assists, which is obviously a hell of a lot less attacking wise than Graeme Shinnie, but you've got to compare the two of them. You have to look a wee bit more in depth. Ross McCrory is obviously a hell of a lot younger and still learning the game, especially with the ball at his feet. That's what Gerard's talked about, and that's something that Ross wants to actually improve as well. However, what I will say is we've obviously got the likes of Glenn Kamara, who has just recently signed and just been absolutely immense in our centre defensive mid role. He's been absolutely incredible, so silky, so smooth, and he just seems to be everywhere, intercepting things for fun. He obviously sits at 5 games and 1 goals. If I was sitting here with 32 games worth of Glenn Kamara, we could be looking at whatever kind of stats. That's just how good that man could be, especially if he continues his early season form for the Glasgow Rangers. But unfortunately, that would just be all speculation just now, but what we can actually look at is a midfield player at Rangers with very, very similar stats than Graeme Shinnie, and this is where it just gets nuts. Ironically, the midfield player at the Glasgow Rangers with similar stats to Graeme Shinnie is none other than Ryan Jack. Are you kidding me? Now Ryan Jack has obviously had a mixture of playing centre defensive mid for most of the season, but the last 2.5 months he's obviously had the more advanced creative role in the centre mid, where it's on him to actually create things for the Glasgow Rangers. But his overall stats is 35 games, 3 goals and 3 assists, and that's us discussing probably the best midfield player at Rangers so far this season, especially consistently since the very first kick of the ball to where we are just now. In fact, the only midfield player at Rangers with better stats than Graeme Shinnie this season is Scotty Arfield, who plays in a much more advanced role, and he sits at 36 games, 7 goals and a cheeky 7 assists as well. Which, when you take a step back and you think how well Ryan Jack, Ross McCrory, etc., all the other midfield players that we've had in there, the only one with a better season so far statistically is Scotty Arfield, and he plays basically the opposite side of the midfield term. That's absolutely nuts. Now, I'd just like to remind you what I said earlier on in the video, and no way am I saying that Graeme Shinnie is better than Ryan Jack or better than Ross McCrory, etc. These are just the stats, but it's a very, very curious stat to look at because I didn't realise Shinnie was doing as well as this. But that's just this season. Let's look at his actual overall career because this is when it gets really, really interesting. He's played 365 games. He scored 24 goals. He has 48 assists, 79 yellow cards, but 0 red cards. Zero. He's never been sent off in 365 games. He's never in one game had 2 yellow cards. How is that possible? He's playing centre defensive mid, left back the majority of his career. How's he never been sent off? That's nuts. I mean, if you want to keep this very, very impressive stat, do not sign for the Glasgow Rangers because you will be sent off 55 minutes into your Rangers debut, Graeme. Didn't do it if you want to keep that record at 0. Now, I know I kind of hinted at earlier on in today's video, but there's always been a discussion, what is Graeme Shinnie's best position? Is it at left back, where he was phenomenal for Inverness Cali Thistle, or is it the centre defensive mid role, which he slowly expanded and took over at Aberdeen Football Club? That's something we're actually going to look at and break down his actual stats as well, because throughout his career he's actually played more games at left back. He's played 51 more games in total at left back than he has at centre defensive mid. He has played 165 games at left back. He has a cheeky 10 goals and a very, very respectable 28 assists at the left back spot. So if you're a mathematician, you already know what I'm about to say for the centre defensive mid role, but I'm not, okay? I could barely even say centre defensive mid role. That kind of tells you where I am intelligent wise. But he's actually played 115 games at the centre defensive mid role with 8 goals and 12 assists, which is actually very interesting because he's got 3 goals and 3 assists this year. So quite clearly shows that Graeme Shinnie is having the best year of his career this frickin' year. End of contract time? That's quite cheeky, Graeme. Quite cheeky at all. Now it's time to look at one of the real pros of signing a Graeme Shinnie in your team, is the flexibility that the man actually has. Now, he has played 18 games at centre mid with a cheeky 3 assists, but he has also played 17 games at right back where he sits with 2 goals and 4 assists. Flipped. But we didn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Nah. He's also played 11 games at left mid where he has 2 assists. He has 1 game at centre attacking midfield, and he has 1 game at centre back. The only position that Graeme Shinnie pretty much hasn't played is goalkeeper. And his player profile shows he could probably do a job there. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just his overall stats. Now let's look at, would he fit into the Glasgow Rangers team? Because that is a massive question mark. Because if you look at it, in our midfield, it's pretty much whack-a-mole and another midfield player will pop up. There's someone ready to go. If Gerrard takes one player out, there's 7 or 8 fighting for that spot. That's how competitive it is in the centre defensive mid spot, the centre mid, and even the left back spot. All his primary positions are pretty much stacked. So let's actually be fair and say if he did sign a pre-contract and he joined up with the squad at the end of the season, there'd be no Losana Koulibaly. He's gone. I don't think we'd be signing him. You've got Stephen Davis, whose loan expires, and I really don't think, as it stands just now when I'm making this video, his performances have justified us signing him permanently. Do you think so? So that's 2 out the door right away. However, instantly to fill those spots, that's opening maybe a gap for Graeme Shinnie. You've got Greg Docherty coming back into the club, who's just been fantastic down in England, and you've also got young Jordan Rossart, who down at Bury has had 2 games, 2 man of the matches. That's right, back to back man of the matches. In a 2-week spell, he had played more 90-minute matches down south than he did in Scotland for 2 years, which is absolutely tremendous, and shout out to him as well, clearly putting the injuries behind him, and he's actually getting back to doing what he does best, which is playing football and dominating midfield. Shout out to young Jordan. Hopefully that continues to the rest of the season. And if it does, we all know how much Gerrard loves Rossiter. If he continues this form, if he stays clear of injury, you know he's coming back with a chance at the Glasgow Rangers. You just know it. And you've obviously got players like Jason Holt, etc. coming back to the club who's never really going to get a game. Sorry, Mark, I just don't think that's actually going to happen. So, start of the season, first day, who do we have in our books? Centre defensive mid, we've got Glenn Kamara, who has started so amazingly. You've got young Ross McCrory, who's only going to get better and better and better. You've got Halliday, who can play in that role. And you've obviously got Jordan Rossiter, who, like I just said, is starting to play very, very well. And last but not least, a lot of people has forgot, Matt Polster also plays centre defensive mid. If needed, he could cover in that spot as well. So that's 5 players before we sign anyone in the summer as well. And now at left back, maybe we're signing them, bringing them in to play at left back. Even that's pretty stacked. Wallace will obviously be leaving the football club. Dave King pretty much confirmed that when he picked Graeme Murty as his man of the year at the AGM, sort of showing where he was siding in the old Murty-Wallace situation on. But you've still got BB there, who I'm sure will recover his form and confidence in time. You've got Andy Halliday, who's arguably our best left back just now. You've got John Flanagan, who fills in that spot as well. So, to me, his 2 positions that he's actually best at is pretty damn stacked. So now that we've actually broke down the man himself and the potential spot and rivals that he will have at the football club to get some first team football, all that's left is for me and thee to get their opinions out there. So I'm going to ask you the question right now to answer. And that question is, obviously, should Rangers sign Graeme Shinnie? Well, you're putting your thoughts and opinions out there. I will give you mine. I would actually side with yes. If he was available, I would actually take him because, one, he'd be free, which is always nice, you know, can't really go wrong with free. 2, we've actually broke down his stats and he's a pretty damn good player that can play in multiple positions if we pick up the injury bug. 3, it worked out pretty damn decently with Ryan Jack, and if we get the same similar results, I'll take that. And 4th and finally, it strengthens us. Whether he's starting or not, it will strengthen Rangers. And also, it weakens Aberdeen, which is obviously a club we're going to be playing 6 or 7 times a goddamn year. So yeah, for me, I'm actually going to go with yes. But the other question is, do you actually think it will happen? For me, it's a no. I don't think there's any way that this will actually happen. I am pretty sure that Graeme Shinnie is away signing down south. So now that we've got our thoughts and opinions out there, all that's left is to jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. 1,397 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 49% votes for no, but 51% of the people votes for yes, Rangers should sign Graeme Shinnie. Barney Stinson writes in yes, not because we need him, just to wind up the sheet by taking their second captain in a row. Okay, fair dues. Craig72 says just sign him for the sheet meltdown. Joshua McGinty simply for the wind up. Deacon Neil says think he would be a great signing, strong in the tackle, tenacious and hates Brown and Celtic. It's a win. Lewis Aird says highly rate the guy, wanted him to join in January, but the summer will do pretty nicely. Joshua responds for banter reasons only. No. Peter Ramsey says no thank you. Very, very polite, Peter, thank you. And the last one we'll actually read out comes from Alan Douglas. He says free shit is still free shit, to be honest. Brilliant. I actually think he's a good squad player for us. Sell him for $2 million 2 years down the line to either Barnsley or Wigan. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people, you've heard from me. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And also, if you don't mind hitting the like button, that'd be absolutely tremendous. And also, shout out to the patrons who's helping support the channel. You will see one of those benefits coming up very soon on the channel. If you would like to join the patrons, the link for that is down in the description below. And before we actually wrap up today's video, I actually just wanted to pay my respects to one of the all-time Rangers greats who sadly passed away yesterday at the age of 84. My dad spoke about him a hell of a lot. Very, very good player. Over 400 appearances for the Glasgow Rangers. His name was obviously Eric Caldo. My respects to the family and everything for that. Truly one of the all-time greats. If you haven't seen anything about him, definitely go on Google and have a look. One of the best all-time Rangers players. So before we wrap up today's video, I just wanted to actually pay my respects to the family as well. I've been CJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.